Excalibur is the most famous sword in Arthurian legend, a symbol of divine kingship and mystical power. It is said that Excalibur was no ordinary blade, but one imbued with extraordinary strength and magical properties, granted only to the true king. The story begins with Britain in turmoil. The land had no rightful king, and the kingdom was divided. Merlin, the great wizard, devised a test to determine who the true king should be. He placed a sword, Excalibur, into a stone, declaring that only the one true king would be able to pull it free. Knights and lords from across the land came to try their strength, but one by one, they failed. It wasn't until a young boy named Arthur, raised far from the royal courts, stumbled upon the stone that the sword was released. Arthur, unaware of his true lineage, approached the stone by chance during a tournament. When he grasped the sword's hilt and pulled, it slid out effortlessly. The crowd was astonished. This moment marked the beginning of Arthur's journey, revealing him as the destined ruler of Britain. Excalibur was not just a symbol of his kingship, it was a sign that Arthur's reign was guided by divine forces. The sword in the stone represented more than strength, it symbolized worthiness and destiny. But this wasn't the only story of how Arthur came to wield Excalibur. In some versions of the legend, Arthur broke his original sword in battle. Desperate, he turned to Merlin for help. Merlin led Arthur to a mystical lake, where the Lady of the Lake, a powerful and mysterious figure, emerged from the water holding Excalibur. The Lady of the Lake offered the sword to Arthur, who reached out to claim it. This version of the story emphasizes Excalibur's magical nature. The Lady of the Lake's connection to the otherworldly realms underscored the idea that Arthur's kingship was blessed by forces beyond mortal understanding. Excalibur, gifted by this powerful enchantress, became more than a tool. It was a relic of magical protection and strength. The magic of Excalibur. Excalibur wasn't just a weapon, it was said to possess supernatural abilities. Legends speak of its blade being so sharp and strong that it could cut through anything, and when drawn in battle, it would blind Arthur's enemies with its brightness, making it almost impossible for him to be defeated. It was a sword that granted victory, not just through force, but through the mystical power that accompanied it. Additionally, Excalibur's scabbard was said to be even more valuable than the sword itself. The scabbard protected its wearer from harm, preventing Arthur from being mortally wounded in battle. It wasn't just a weapon of destruction, but also one of preservation, ensuring that Arthur remained unassailable as long as he wielded Excalibur and carried the scabbard. Arthur's final battle. Arthur ruled Britain with Excalibur by his side for many years, bringing peace to the land. But all good things must come to an end. After a series of tragic betrayals and internal strife, Arthur faced his final battle against his nephew, Mordred, at Cumlan. Though Arthur fought bravely, even Excalibur's magic couldn't prevent his downfall. Arthur was gravely wounded. As he lay dying, he commanded one of his loyal knights, Sir Bedivere, to return Excalibur to the Lady of the Lake. Twice, Bedivere hesitated, unable to part with such a powerful artifact. But on the third attempt, he fulfilled Arthur's dying wish. Bedivere threw the sword into the lake, and as it fell into the water, a hand, belonging to the Lady of the Lake, rose from the surface, catching Excalibur before it disappeared beneath the waves. The return of the sword marked the end of Arthur's reign, and with that, Excalibur was once again taken back to the mystical realm from which it had come. The legacy of Excalibur. Excalibur remains one of the most enduring symbols of kingship, heroism, and magic. The sword's story, whether it was pulled from the stone or granted by the Lady of the Lake, symbolizes the idea that true leadership is not about power alone, but about destiny, responsibility, and protection. Even today, the legend of Excalibur continues to inspire stories in literature, film, and popular culture. It represents the eternal human quest for greatness, the belief in a higher power guiding the fates of nations, and the promise that in times of need, a hero will rise to restore order and justice. Excalibur is more than just a sword. It is a symbol of hope, of rightful leadership, and of the mystical forces that shape the world.